All right, hey, it's Rob, and the fine folks over at AAA Liners provided me with some dress-up products for my 2022 Ford Maverick. Just a few cool accessories we're going to check out today. I believe AAA Liners will sell you bed liners for the Maverick and heavy-duty all-weather floor mats. I already had those things, so instead I chose 3 products from this company that they represent called Muslogy, and we'll take a look and see what they sent me, and then I'll install these things and we'll see how they work out for us. All right, here we go. All right, so let's check out what they sent from Muslogy. It's a big day when I wash the Maverick. It gets it maybe every 6 months, whether it needs it or not. So the first thing they sent is for the center console. This is a little cubby organizer. It's kind of cool. It has these separate little rubber inserts just so things don't slide around that you put in there like so. They sit in there. And it's 2 layers, so you can actually have some stuff sitting on that level, and then you just lay on the top level here. So it's a big mess right now in that cubby, so I'm looking forward to this. It's just a big box. There's no way to organize anything, and this way you've got a spot for your change and some different sized items. I think probably even credit cards could go in right there. All right, so we're gonna check that out. Obviously not a big deal to install something like that. It just pops in, sits in there. Next is something similar, but this is for the top of the dashboard. There's a little spot there that's kind of weird. I've never really found anything to store up in there, but anyway, you've got these little inserts in here. I think maybe I have them in the wrong place. No, they go here. And this goes here, like so. And that's it. And then this will sit on top of your dashboard with just a little bit of foam sticky tape there to hold it in, and it should be able to hold a couple things in that spot there, which I just haven't done much with. So that's the second item from Muslogy. Then the third item even has some instructions, and we're going to see how this works out. Not 100% sure, but I believe these should just line right up with the press fittings that you already have on your Maverick. They are mud flaps for the front and the back, both sides, of course. And this comes with a little tool to remove those press-in fittings that you already have, and a little S-shaped screwdriver, which is cool because it doesn't stick out too far. You're able to do it inside the wheel well. And here are some of those press-on fittings. I'm not sure if you can use the ones that you already have in your truck, or you've got to use the ones that are provided by Muslogy, but there we go. That's all the stuff that I scored. And just to show you, when you get your Maverick, I've got a little mud flap. I'll call it a mud flap-ette here. It's not much, but it's only in the front. So I'm really hoping, and I haven't even checked yet, that the mud flaps fit in the rear of the tire, because hey, this is great if you're going in reverse, but otherwise you're just gonna get a bunch of mud on your vehicle. And it's the same with the front. You get a little lower mud flap there, or maybe that carries all the way over across the front. I'm not sure, but there's nothing in the back here, so I'm sure hoping that those mud flaps will line up with these press-in fittings right there, and just, fit right in there with a minimum of effort, because I'm all about a minimum of effort when I'm working on my Maverick. I don't like to, do a whole bunch of work. I just like to get in and drive it. So, all right, let's see how all this stuff is going to fit on the 2022 Maverick. All right, so the first product up is this center console organizer. You will see the center console in the Maverick is just a big, deep box. It really does go down there pretty far, and whenever you're looking for something, it's just a big mess of stuff. You're always digging around. I'm trying to find a cable or this or that or whatever, and I can't really, locate it in there, especially when you're driving. So this little double-decker organizer is really going to help out. You may notice that it is only about halfway down as far as how low it sits in the center console box. So you can actually still store stuff underneath here that you don't really need often, like glasses, which I should wear, but I never do. So things can actually be below the bottom level of this organizer. And then of course this just lays in here and it sits there with those tabs, nice and neat. Once again, it has these nice rubberized covers, and then you can lay in whatever types of things you want to put in there, your spare pens and flashlight and who knows what. So you throw a few things in there, and then you have the second level here, which will just slot right in nicely like so. Of course it closes, no problem. And on this level, once again, I can put some extra stuff that I happen to have. And you can go ahead and lay some of your change in there. Right there, of course, you're going to see slots for credit cards. And so this is really pretty a useful thing. Obviously, it takes, no time at all to install, and now you are way more organized. So all right, I'm gonna give that one a thumbs up, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Here's the second item from Muslogy, and this is pretty cool. It is a dash top storage cubby. Once again, it comes with those rubber inserts. It comes with a little bit of foam tape. Here's where I put my foam tape. I thought it was sticky tape, but it's only sticky on one side. So maybe it just cushions between the, two hard plastic pieces so they don't rattle around or whatever. You could, of course, maybe lay some double-sided sticky tape on there as well. And, maybe up here or something. Or on the bottom. And that's maybe what I'm going to do, just so this thing doesn't go flying in an accident. But anyway, very simply, it just lays in here, looks pretty smooth, looks factory. You don't really even notice it, and it's just a little bit of extra storage up here. I mean, it's not an area that I usually store stuff, although I happen to have some orange Tic Tacs, and hey, that's a great place for my Tic Tacs. Did you know that in Canada, orange Tic Tacs are actually white? Probably because they don't want the food coloring. They don't think it's healthy or whatever. But, all right, this piece looks great. And finally, the mud flaps. And just as I expected, they have the right amount of holes in the right places. They line right up with the front and the rear wheel well of your Maverick and allow you to put these mud flaps where they're supposed to go, where God intended. And that's, of course, towards the rear of the wheel. That's your front. In the back here, right here, there are 4, and there are 4 holes here. So this should line right up. These two down here are actually bolts. I don't know if you can see them. And then these are the press fits, but we're gonna unscrew them and pull them out, and then it's just a simple job to, of course, install these mud flaps. It's nice because they tell you right there, forward Maverick, rear left. My front says Ford Maverick on it, front left. So there you go. Very easy to figure out which is which, and it should go in just a minute or two, and we'll see what the finished product looks like. All right, so my attempts to preserve the original press-in fittings were less than successful, but I realized if you pull the centers out first, it works a lot better. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because they provide you with new press-on fittings, and they seem to work just fine. And this is what your mud flap will look like once it's installed. You'll see a little gap there because I have not finished pressing in all these center pieces. You'll see the centerpiece once again looks like a Phillips head, but really it's just press in, and you're just going to press in and put some pressure in it like that, and it should stay just fine. So I'll press the centers in in these two down here as well. And then we will have a nice looking mud flap on the right side of the wheel where it's supposed to be. All right, looks great. So this is the technique here for removing them. You want to get in this little notch here, and you want to first pull your centers out. Sorry, it's hard to do with the camera, but anyway, you want to pull the center out and then go underneath there and pull that out, and it'll come out really easily. If you want to reuse these fittings, which you don't even need to do. And the rear was super easy to install. You've got two little metal bolts there that you will reuse that were originally there, and then you're going to use two of the press-in fittings here from Muslogy, and you have got yourself a rear mud flap that's actually where it's supposed to be, in the back. So beautiful. How about that? Very nice. The rear mud flap. Once again, the front mud flap looks great. Super easy to put in. Only took a couple minutes. All right, and a 9/32 socket is what you want to use there for the two metal bolts. Don't overdo it, because I think it's literally just going into the plastic here of the bumper, but just snug them up so they're pretty tight there. And again, you can reuse those two and then use the two new fittings here provided by Muslogy. Thanks to the folks at AAA Liners for sending these products out and providing me with something that even I can install. They were just simple to put in, very easy install even on the mud flaps. Looks great, adds some functionality to my vehicle, and yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks again, AAA Liners and their Muslogy line of products. All right, if I could show you my other thumb, which is holding the camera, 2 thumbs up. Everything worked out great. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.